I have four things on my list that I'd like to touch just a little bit in case anybody wants to hear about some of the things that went on in the Capitol. The first thing, and probably the most important thing to this point, and maybe in my career, now I've voted for resolutions in the past to try to change some things with our Constitution, but this one's super important, and it's SJR 74. SJR 74, what it will do is raise the standard to be able to put any kind of initiative petition into our Constitution. And I'm one of the people that believe that this is not taking rights of citizens away. It's just treating the Constitution like I believe, and I think many of my constituents believe, the Constitution is a very special document that we shouldn't be able to make changes in very easily. And this changes the standard from 50% plus one to a 5/8 concurrent majority, which that means that out of 8 congressional districts in the state of Missouri, 5 of those districts would have to pass it to be able to put that in the Constitution. And I know there are people listening to me and that I represent that see that in a different way, that I believe in taking rights away, and I don't believe that important things will this stand in the way of putting them in the Constitution. And unfortunately, I believe the Missouri Constitution is abused once in a while by putting things in that I kind of believe ought to be in the statute. And then again, budget. We discuss that almost every week. I serve on the Appropriations Committee. And this week we heard from different departments. Today we heard about our General Assembly budget. So the budget pays me, and I know everybody's glad out there I get paid. But also, we listened to Department of Economic Development, and they got to highlight some of the things that are going on in the state, what they see in the future, and changes they would like to see in that budget. And that budget touches anything from military bases in our state, tourism, very large industrial complexes or industries moving to our state. So it's always interesting to sit and listen to that budget, as well as we listened to a couple other presentations this week. Another thing that I really wanted to highlight this week, and this was just off in a side gallery, I met with some people that they have a company that tests wastewater, and primarily they focus on schools. And when they test the wastewater or sewer water leaving that school, the purpose is to identify in the wastewater drug use. That's what they were really focusing on. And I thought that was so interesting and such a change in my life, be able to go and try to figure out what level of drug use it is. And here's one thing that I couldn't believe. They said because they know what the compounds are between legal and illegal fentanyl, they can tell the difference whether it's a legal fentanyl going through the wastewater is illegal. And they come up, just finding that out does no good. And what things do you do after that to try to help to, ultimately, hopefully, keep all students alive and nobody accidentally overdosing? That is something that I really, really enjoyed getting to visit with somebody about like that. Of course, we all know those things aren't free. So part of the reason why they were discussing me, back up one step in this presentation, Appropriations Committee and budget, and the fact that maybe the state ought to look at possibly at least starting a pilot and see how that'll work. And then one last, it was really a fun thing. This week's been a trying week. We've had a filibuster. We've had all kinds of excitement out there in that chamber, and sometimes it was trying time to be here. But I was invited to drive an old John Deere D to the Capitol today for recognition of FA Week. And after 33 years of being an ag teacher, that was certainly my highlight of the week. Being able to drive that old D John Deere, a friend of mine named J.P. Dunn down here close to Jeff City, brought that to the Capitol, and I had fun this morning doing that.